Hi, my name is Jacob Fisher. I had a rather peculiar family. My parents worked from home and always had time for us. They never argued either. My sister and I also got along very nicely. We had liked many of the same shows and bands. However, this is all besides the point. You see, this all started roughly 7 years ago. My family had recently moved to Maine, a place where we had dreamed of being, as we were tired of the monotonous city life of New York. We thought a life in the country would be a lot more peaceful. Well, we didn't really get peaceful. I was 12 at the time and I just started going to the local school. It was peaceful, all the teachers were nice, and I genuinely enjoyed my time there. It wasn't until a week later that one of my classmates had asked me why my family moved into the house we did. Why not? I asked. Haven't you heard? He questioned. What haven't I heard about? I cautiously asked. He began to tell me the tale about a 4-count murder of a family that lived there. They had been killed by some creature 1 month after they moved in. Needless to say, I was scared. As any 12-year-old would be, I was very frightened for the rest of the day. It was 5 p.m. when my mom asked me what I was so afraid of. One of the kids at school told me a monster killed the people who owned this house before, I said to her in a shaky voice. Oh, she said in a slightly angered tone. I want you to know that kids always do this to each other. They like to scare new kids. Just ask your dad. I nodded and went back into my room, turned on the television, and plopped down on my bed. About 12 minutes into SpongeBob SquarePants, I saw a pale flash out of the corner of my eye and consulted my mom about it. She told me that it was just my imagination, and I shouldn't worry because if anything were to happen, Dad would come in and beat the crap out of it. She always knew how to cheer me up. So I watched SpongeBob for the rest of the evening and eventually went to bed. Next morning, I arose to the sound of my alarm making noises like a cornered animal. I realized I had forgotten to turn it off, as today was Saturday. I hit the off button on my alarm and was shocked by a small note on my bedside table. It read, "It's true," in fresh ink. As you would have guessed, I ran scared into my parents' room and showed them the note. The way they figured it, my sister, whose name was Muriel, had written it to scare me. We brought it up to her, but she denied it. The next couple of days, 3 to be exact, nothing more of interest happened. However, on Wednesday, when I woke up to my alarm once more to find yet another note, this time it said, "Prepare for tonight," with a creepy-ass smile ripped into the paper. I screamed. I couldn't help it. My parents rushed into the room and asked what was wrong. I showed them the note. They looked at Muriel, and she shook her head as to say no. My mom went into the kitchen and called the school to say I wouldn't be coming today due to family issues. My dad questioned me what I might know about this. Many similar events like this happened throughout the day. Even Muriel asked if I was okay. That night, when I tried to go to sleep, I couldn't help but feel paranoid. I felt like if I were to go into the corner of my back facing it would get me. I finally managed to get some sleep and woke up late that morning. I hopped out of bed, got dressed, grabbed my backpack, and opened the door to my room. All the doors in the hallway were wide open. I casually walked into the kitchen, only to find it messy and lacking my family. I quickly rushed into my parents' room to find my mom laying on the bed, with a thick red line across her neck, as scarlet liquid oozed out. My dad was hunched over the closet with identical wounds. Tears rushed in my eyes and I ran to my sister's room. I saw her curled on a ball in the floor, bleeding. I rushed over to her and checked her pulse. She was alive. Muriel, what happened? I said to her, fighting back tears. I don't know. Jacob, call police, she said as her eyes closed and her head hit the ground. I had feared she was dead. I called the local police and they rushed over. They determined that both my parents' throats had been clawed open forcibly. My sister was alive. She had passed out due to blood loss. Upon closer examination, they found 3 rather large claw marks across her chest. One of the police officers faced me. He was obviously sad for my loss. Listen, son. I know what happened was traumatic, but come with me. We're going to try to help you. My name is Matthew. Matthew Miller. Come with me. Your sister will be fine. We're going to find you a place to live. I went with him into his cruiser. He took me to an adoption home where I would stay for until I was 18 and had a job. I visited my sister in the hospital often, and then, after a month, she joined me in the hospital. Skipping ahead 7 years, I was in ownership of my own home, held a job at the local grocery mart, and talked to my sister, who was working for the police force in my town, almost daily. Nothing out of the ordinary happened to me during the adoption home in my new home. Except for now. Muriel, if you're reading this, I want you to know that whatever killed Mom and Dad is here, with me. I'm writing this so you know. I want you to move out of this state as fast as you can after you read this. I know what's in here. Now, I'm gonna go face my death like a man. You're the best sister I could have asked for. Sincerely, Jacob.